she walked by in order to show respect for this great lady. Isabella personally, though, thought their licking was disgusting. And so do I. But this was Spain, circa 1490, and licking the streets was considered perfectly normal behavior for the lower classes.
As for Columbus...
Columbus didn't used to be a sailor.
From the day he was born, Columbus was slated to be a sailor, which he became.
He was first and foremost a kept man.
He was a kept sailor.
He did little all day but jot down ridiculous poems and wait for Isabella to call his name.
But Queen Isabella, much to her royal displeasure, found out that Columbus was cheating on her.
He wasn't cheating exactly.
This is what happened. One day, now this is the truth, one day outside Poma del Fuego, he necked furiously with a man whose red hair and broad shoulders reminded Columbus of his mother. Columbus had never felt such deep stirrings of emotion beneath his Italian marble facade. They met at odd hours, off and on, for 3 weeks, Columbus and this gentleman from Poma del Fuego.
And soon Isabella, who was no dummy, realized that Columbus was having an affair with someone else.
And Columbus had hell to pay. Yes, sir, I mean hell.
He was half out of his mind with grief over Isabella's anger. Well, because Isabella paid for his fine clothes, she provided him with a fine apartment, rent-free.
And he loved her.
You're telling me he grieved because he loved her?
I'm telling you that
Shut up! The lady wanted him out of her life, and she always got what she wanted. She swore that he would never have another woman as long as he lived. So, she put him on a doomed boat with known homosexuals and laughed a royal wicked laugh.
Like this. Ho, ho, ho!
Those who knew him well say Columbus was half out of his mind by the time they strapped him to that ship and pushed him out to sea.
On board, Columbus stayed in his room and sulked. He spoke to no one except the porter. He told his porter that if they came across any new land, it was to be called Isabella, in hopes that the queen would forgive him.
He wrote her love letters, begging her forgiveness. He wrote,
Dear Isabella, forgive me.
You think she was moved? You think so? Well, then you didn't know Isabella. She laughed in his face.
like this. Ho, ho, ho!
He wrote her.
Dear Isabella, you don't know the whole story. I was not having an affair with a lady in waiting.
He would send the letters by carrier pigeon.
He wrote.
Dearest Isabella,
She laughed in his face.
He wrote her.
if I should discover any new land, I shall name it Isabella Land.
Until one day,
There came a knock at the door.
of Columbus's room,
On board this ship,
on which Queen Isabella
royalty of Spain,
had reported her kept man.
Christopher Columbus.
Please come in.
Columbus could not believe his eyes.
Columbus could not trust his legs.
There, outlined by the light of the sea, stood the handsome young man from Poma del Fuego.
Please, come in.
The young man asked if he could sit down. He asked if there was anything to drink. He asked if he could take off his clothes,
They got into bed.
where they didn't sleep.
But we slept a little.
For 30 days.
50 days!
85 rapturous days and nights.
When Marvin suggested
Not a moment too soon.
that they should take a shower, which, thank God, they did.
All of this, Columbus wrote in a letter to Isabella.
To tell you the truth, she wasn't interested. She ripped the letter up. She said that she was disgusted and appalled, and she said to her husband that, well, as far as she was concerned, Columbus was one dead explorer.
The two bachelors left Columbus's room, arm in arm, bound for the shower, and were halted by a magnificent landmass ahead. Everybody was yelling, "There's Isabella Land!
Because that was the name I had told the porter to give any new land we came across.
There's Isabella Land!"
It was a bright green land.
A ballsy
A
land,
land brimming with possibilities.
Men.
he
He
said.
spoke to the assembled homosexuals.
He was very moved by this discovery.
No longer do I call this fine green land Isabella Land. Rather, this land I see before me today, I name America, after Amerigo Vespucci, a young man I met in Poma del Fuego, with red hair and broad shoulders, like my mother. I love him. signed his last letter, Love Christopher, and went ashore.